give me a good walk around of your setup?
I got a Pioneer. Shit, I can't remember.
That's all right. Pioneer dual head unit.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I got a Scar SK 4500 and a Scar damn.
4-channel?
Nah, Scar the big the one above the ZVX.
ZVX, okay.
Nah, the high one.
Scar ZVX?
No, the high one. The one that $5,000 RMS.
DDX. I think they're the
DNR.
Yeah, DNRs. DNRs. Oh, you got one of those?
One of them.
Okay.
And for power, I have a XL Power D7500. And stock out.
Stock alt? All right.
Yeah.
How's your voltage do? Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
What's it tuned to?
31 hertz.
31 hertz? All right. That's awesome. Ooh, can I see your box?
Yeah. You can.
Awesome. That was cool. Nice. Well, I like your block here. That's a good idea to keep it from hitting all the way back too. Did you, is it prefab or did you build it?
Well, it has some vehicle.
You did? Okay, so it's custom tuned to, what did you say again?
31 hertz.
31 hertz. So it likes the lows. I noticed that. And that's a big battery too.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. What year and vehicle is this?
2015 Hyundai Sonata.
Hyundai Sonata? All right. I like it, man. I appreciate the demo.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
That was cool. And your amps are right behind the box?
Yeah. See, you already done.
Yep, there it is. Woo! The 3500, right? 4500. At 1 ohm?
1 ohm.
All right. Heck yeah. And what was your name?
Matthew.
Matthew, Jacob. Appreciate the demo, man.
All right, anytime.
Yeah, they'll like to see it. Let's check it out.
Songwriter and he can sing, bringing the money like raking the leaves. I was just trying to get paid for the sneeze. I choked, that was a blessing. She's special to you, I don't look at her special. Actually, I treat her regular, not being seen, we not making no
Yeah. place. Logan.
Download the Domino's app, scan
Oh, yeah.
any pizza, and you can earn points toward free Domino's pizza.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm JacobViral. Do daily cardio videos. This crazy truck built today with an insanely big single 15. You couldn't see the motor, so I tried to give you a view of what it looks like. 5,000 watt RMS SCAR DNR, their biggest level of the sub on a 4500 at 1 ohm. Hope you enjoyed it. Pretty crazy flex from a single sub, especially on stock alternator. So give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let the owner know what you think in the comments. He'll be seeing it. And stay tuned for another video tomorrow. And I'm going to go ahead and do first the shout out of the day. Today's going to go to a Facebook user. He's on my JacobViral. He adds me on Facebook. David Bridges. He said, "Hey man, shout out to this guy for this little build. I build boxes." You'll be seeing some pictures for people, and I decided to build one for my 2007 Jeep Liberty. Two 12-inch kicker squares with each kicker getting a 750.1 each. 250 amp fuse under the hood with a capacitor in the center as you saw in the picture, as well as LED lighting as you can see. It's pretty cool. And he said I hit a 130 on dash and a 135 dB kick. Awesome little banging budget in your Jeep, man. Appreciate you watching, David. There's your shout out. And stay tuned for video tomorrow. So I got a couple of topics to say. Before that, I'd like to say I appreciate y'all always watching. I like to always get gratitude for that every single day. And subscribe if you haven't. And if you want a shout out, as it mentioned in the comments, go ahead and add me. Not add me, just ask for a shout out in the comments. And if you want any good feedback, go ahead and give some feedback as well. And I'll be able to give you a shout out soon. So I got 3 topics to talk about. First one is second battery adding. A lot of guys that are more trunk builds or back of the vehicle, in the back of their truck, back seats, etc., they're like, well, I'm ready to add a second battery. I've never made a topic on this, so I figured to talk about it. What is required to add a second battery? I would say before that, anybody adding a second battery, majority of these are smaller systems, I'm assuming, so you're on stock alternator. You can stay on stock alternator. If you can suggest high output alternator versus stock battery replacement, go ahead and replace your battery first. You're going to want to do both eventually if you get loud enough, but in general, I would recommend battery before alternator. But if you're going into multiple batteries, more than 2, that's when you want to start suggesting alternator. But anyway, so 3 things I would say you want to do for adding a second battery. 1, you need to consider running 0 gauge wire. If you have the affordability and budget, go ahead and run oxygen-free 100% copper wire, not the 10% not oxygen-free. I think they call it CCA. Try to get the oxygen-free wire. Run 1 to 2 runs of power wire through a fuse at the front of the battery, under the seat, under everything, wherever, if you're paying someone or you're doing it yourself. And you want to make sure you have 0 gauge. That way you're going to be running to your second battery with 0 gauge. And you're also going to do the big 4. Really, it's called big 3, but the big 4, which is, I made a video on it, just search big 3 on my channel. But the big 4 is you grounds to your chassis, where your stock grounds are. You're going to add a ground there. You're going to add a ground to your alternator, and you're going to add a ground to your engine block. And then you're going to add a power wire where your power wire ran is to your alternator. Instead of it being like an 8 gauge wire, you're going to add a 0 gauge to that. So the key to adding a second battery is 0 gauge and, if possible, oxygen free. And then you're also going to want to ensure your battery is in a safe location that can't spill or roll over. So that's another case scenario thing you want to consider, is where you're going to put the second battery. And it's as simple as that. You're going to run ground. You can ground your rear battery to your ground on your vehicle. Highly recommend, if you have the money and time, to also invest in a ground that's running straight to your front battery to your rear. Meaning, instead of just a fuse in your power wire to your back, also run a 0 gauge ground to the back. Really double up if you can, because that gives you opportunity to have better current draw, as well as more supply, and its upgrades available, so you don't have to worry about burning up your wire as easily, depending on how your wire is rated at. So that's how you do the second battery. Second thing, I already mentioned big 3, so I don't need to talk about that again. And third thing, last thing, custom versus prefab. So he has a custom box carpeted. It could be prefab, some of you guys might say, but either way, it's slamming. It's jamming for a single 15 in this trunk of this Hyundai. So there's no real thing to talk about on prefab versus a custom box, besides you're going to get the most optimal use out of your box when you have a custom box. Prefab is going to be built to certain specs, and you can't really adjust it or build it to the subwoofer. But with a custom box, like he said his was, you can tune it where you want, you can build it to the specs of the sub, you can build it to how much power it's taking, you can round over and give it more of a popular look the way you want it. It can fit more custom to the vehicle you're building to, get the specs of the sub, and get the most output out of your subwoofer. So I recommend doing custom if you can. It costs a lot more, but hey, if we want the most out of our bang, why not? Let's invest a little more in it. So that's all I got for the day. JacobViral out. Add me on Instagram and Facebook. Any questions y'all got, anything I said wrong, I'm not perfect, let me know. Give some good feedback, and I hope I answered some questions. See y'all tomorrow.